times in their storied histories had North Carolina and Kansas met on the hardwood. The top-ranked Jayhawks raced to a 20-point first-half lead Friday night, led by All-American center Hunter Dickinson and a highly touted class of transfers. And the 9th-ranked Tar Heels mounted a big second-half comeback, led by All-American guard R.J. Davis and the rest of their elite backcourt, eventually pulling ahead as time was winding down at Allen Fieldhouse. But just as they have so often at the Phog, the Jayhawks made the plays that mattered in the end. Dickinson scored the go-ahead basket with 1:15 to go, added a foul shot with 12 seconds left, and watched as North Carolina's Elliot Cadeau missed a three-pointer as time expired that allowed the Jayhawks to escape with a 92-89 victory. Total class on both sides. "It was cheer your team, but don't get after the other team," said Kansas coach Bill Self, who matched building namesake Phog Allen for the most wins at the school with his 590th. "Even though we didn't play our best, we found a way to win. I think it was a good game for both programs." The Stars certainly shined in the latest showdown of two schools with a combined 10 national titles. South Dakota State transfer Zeke Mayo had 21 points for Kansas. Dickinson scored 20 and KJ Adams Jr. finished with 14 as the Jayhawks, 2-0, narrowly avoided matching the biggest blown lead loss in school history. Seth Trimble had 19 points, Davis scored 16, and Cadeau finished with 12 points and 7 assists for the Tar Heels, 1-1, who were able to come back from their 49-29 deficit in part because of a 28-4-31 performance at the foul line. I mean, anytime you bring two unbelievable programs that have terrific kids and talented kids, competitive kids, it doesn't matter whether it's March or November. "It's going to be competitive," North Carolina coach Hubert Davis said. "You run through that tunnel and you see that crowd, and you see Kansas across the court," Davis added. "If you can't be fired up to play and compete in this type of atmosphere against that type of team, something must be wrong with you." It is the shared history of North Carolina and Kansas, the quality of their matchups, including 5 Final Four tussles and 2 national title games, along with the Hall of Fame coaches that bind them together, that has made their series a rivalry. In fact, this was only the second game on campus, and it came more than 6 decades after eventual Kansas coach Larry Brown led the Tar Heels to victory in the Phog. And despite the rarity of home-and-home series and an era of enlarged conference schedules, in-season tournaments, and interleague showdowns, the 14th game between Kansas and North Carolina is due to take place November 14, 2025, when the Jayhawks visit Chapel Hill for the first time. Until then, the bragging rights in a series deadlocked at 6 wins apiece before Friday night remain with Kansas. The Jayhawks, who rallied from 16 down to beat North Carolina in their last matchup for the 2022 national title, seized control with an early 15-3 run and eventually stretched the lead to 20 with just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. The Tar Heels, led by their exceptional backcourt but weaker in the post, struggled to contain Dickinson and Adams when their big men got into foul trouble. Jalen Washington, Jalen Withers, and Vin Allen Lubin sat for stretches in the first half with 2 fouls apiece, and Tyson Claude picked up 3 for North Carolina in just 3.5 minutes. Once the big men got back, though, the Tar Heels started to come back. And it didn't take long to make it a game. Davis, Cadeau, and Trimble did most of the work, just as they are expected to do all season. But the big guys also played a part in the comeback, and it was back-to-back baskets by Withers that gave North Carolina an 80-79 lead with 7:06 to go. The teams jockeyed for the lead from there, the Tar Heels pulling ahead 89-87 on Washington's basket with 2 minutes left. But Mayo answered for Kansas at the other end, and after getting a stop, Dickinson provided the go-ahead bucket. He added the first of 2 free throws with 12 seconds left, setting up North Carolina's last chance three-pointer. When the shot from Cadeau bounced away, the Jayhawks spilled onto the court in a celebration fit for March. After all, they had won a game fit for the NCAA tournament. "I wanted to play this game because I love playing basketball. I love competing," said Davis, his voice hoarse from yelling over the din they got to come to our place next year. "The game is the game, you know? I just love competing."